And for more, let's bring in senior investigative reporter Katersky, investigative reporter Katherine Faulders, and criminal defense attorney and former state and federal prosecutor Dayna Perry for more on this. Thank you all for being here. Katherine, you were in the courtroom when the judge made this decision. Now the government has until Thursday to file these proposed redactions. What impact could this have on the investigation?
Well, you heard Terry say this could be a weeks-long process and that DOJ could ultimately appeal. So what we're likely to see from DOJ, if anything, I don't think their proposed redactions are going to be released in any form next Thursday, is what the chief DOJ lawyer there yesterday said, that it would essentially be this meaningless document to the media, that the whole thing would essentially be redacted. So in terms of the impact of the investigation, all of this is unclear right now, because we don't know what's in the affidavit. We don't know what DOJ is going to propose. The judge could disagree and then propose his own redactions. So again, we're looking at a drawn-out process here. But the reality is that the judge did say, and the judge has reviewed this affidavit. He said this lengthy affidavit multiple times. He did say that he believes there could be some information in that can be released publicly. So we'll see how that all plays out.
And Aaron, former President Trump has said that he wants the full affidavit released, unredacted. So why aren't his lawyers in court asking for that?
It may serve former President Trump's rhetorical or political interest to simply take the opposite side as the Justice Department and demand the document be released. But his lawyers may well know that the affidavit could be very damning and very damaging for former President Trump. And so they took no action in court to formally advance his argument to have it unsealed. On the other hand, they may want it unsealed at some point because it could help them prepare a defense. But in all likelihood, better for Trump that it remains sealed in case he ultimately is not charged with a crime, and then he would not have the taint of the FBI suspicions being public.
Dayna, the DOJ argued in court that if the affidavit is unsealed with the appropriate redactions, there'll be nothing of substance for the media there. It'll be meaningless. So what do you make of that argument, and how far can they go with these proposed redactions?
So as a DOJ lawyer argued in court, and as anyone who's ever served in the Justice Department well knows, these affidavits can be very lengthy, and they do contain very sensitive information, including information that would allow the identity of witnesses to be made public and the scope or the roadmap of the investigation. And so while Magistrate Judge Reinhardt is of course correct that there are some portions that might not be so sensitive. For example, there's a portion where the government has to set out less intrusive means that it's tried before it resorted to seeking a search warrant. There are still going to be many portions, almost all of it. I would think that the government is going to want to keep secret for now until such time, if any, as there are charges. So it is, of course, a balancing act, as the judge acknowledged in the hearing yesterday, between the public's interest in transparency and the government's interest in conducting its investigation at its own pace, and, of course, witnesses' interest in keeping themselves undercover for as long as possible. And frankly, the target's interest as well, with just as was just said, with avoiding the taint of everything that's going to be in what is no doubt a very lengthy and exhaustive recitation of facts.
Now, Katherine, you reported that the judge was skeptical at times throughout the hearing. What was it like in the courtroom?
Look, I think he seemed to approach both arguments with a certain degree of skepticism, hence striking in the beginning stages, at least, what could be seen as this middle ground in the courtroom. Trump's lawyers, as we discussed, weren't there arguing publicly. They filed no documents with the court, taken no legal position formally with the court. But Trump's lawyers were sitting in the room watching these arguments play out. So an interesting dynamic here. But the reality is that DOJ has said that they believe that releasing this could influence future witnesses. But it was interesting because what they also said in court yesterday is that this investigation is in the early stages and that it could affect not only this investigation in particular, but other investigations as well, as there's a lot of grand jury material in this document that they want to be released.
Aaron, why is the government so keen on keeping the affidavit completely under wraps, despite acknowledging that it is of public interest?
In fact, Attorney General Merrick Garland acknowledged the extraordinary public interest here in having the public understand what made the FBI undertake this unprecedented search of a former American president's house. And Garland said that the public was keenly interested, and there were extraordinary circumstances here. And yet the Justice Department does not want to give away the store. They don't want to have potential targets of the investigation understand how they came to the information in the first place, that there was classified material even at Mar-a-Lago after one of former President Trump's attorneys signed a declaration, we're told, that said there wasn't any more. And they also don't want any potential cooperating witnesses to feel the heat. We've talked before, Diane, about the temperature in the country and the threats that have been faced by those involved in the FBI's search at Mar-a-Lago, and the Justice Department is no doubt concerned putting other people at risk.
All right, Katherine Faulders, Aaron Katersky, Dayna Perry, thank you all.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.